The Daily Network presents 1011. 10 minutes of meaningful conversation with immigrant leaders and entrepreneurs every Friday at 11 a.m.
Hi Inez, how are you?
I'm great, and you?
Perfect. I'm better now that you're here. And I'm very excited to know more about you. So let's start the conversation by asking you, tell us more about INÈS FOMÉ.
So Ines was born in Paris. She's Cameroonian. So I've lived both in France and Cameroon for 18 years. And then when I started to choose the university, I decided HEC Montreal in Quebec. So I immigrated in 2008, and since then I live in Quebec.
For how many years have you been staying in Quebec?
It's been 13 years.
Year.
So when I immigrated, I started like at the university. So I studied marketing and management. And then I started my career in marketing and sales in a consulting firm. Then I migrate and doing really like in sales.
Mhm.
And then I started to launch, my online business, Femme d'Impact.
Tell us more about that.
So what happened is that I didn't really dream about becoming an entrepreneur, to be honest with you. Like the dream that I had was just to climb the ladder, but I used to face with a lot of discrimination and the fact that I was very young and Black. I didn't understand really like the code, to really try to perform. And I also like was very ignorant, of the systemic barriers that immigrant can face. And so I realized, hey, like I've been trying to do everything that was, taught in terms of, like try to apply to other jobs, try to find like a better salary, negotiate and stuff like that, but it wasn't working. So I decided to launch, my online business, and it started like just with a blog when I was just talking about leadership because I'm very passionate about leadership and helping women have a lot of confidence. So that's what I did. I wrote a lot of blogs for like 2 years. And in 2016, in February, I started to have clients. So I remember two women, they asked me to do consulting with them. And that's how I started to coach them in terms of relationship and leadership. And during all the year in 2016, I started to have more and more clients. So I started to do online classes. And then I was capable of earning enough money to be able to quit my job.
Okay, wow. That's empowering. That's empowering. And now with that, Inès, I would like to ask you, what was the greatest challenge so far when you started that business?
I would say lack of representation. I was very young. Again, I'm Christian, so I found that I didn't have a lot of mentors, female mentors. I didn't have a lot of entrepreneurs or women or immigrant or that look like me or women who understand where I'm coming from, right? So I would say it's really a lack of representation. I would say the second thing also, I was very isolated because when you start, a business and when you used to be an employee, it's such a hard transition, right?
Mindset
You
is
have to
different.
change yeah, in terms of mindset, habits, your surroundings, networking, stuff like that, financing, there's so much stuff that you have to go through that, it's very hard to find somebody that will understand what you're going through and also really like to network. I find that I didn't really have the tools to find, like Canadian entrepreneurs, Canadian women entrepreneurs, that can help me, like moving forward in my business.
You had to do the thing with you is you had to really do it yourself because you
Yeah,
had to pave your own path, right? As you've
for
said. Now,
sure.
with that challenge, what was the biggest achievement so far?
I would say the achievement was about to be able to have my husband quit his job as an engineer because we have two kids.
Mhm.
And I remember we really wanted to be present for our babies, right? We really wanted to be present for each other, have quality time, a good lifestyle, be able to enjoy the moment present. And that achievement for him to be able to say, hey, I'm going to quit my job. We have enough financial security to be able to provide for him. I think it's my biggest achievement so far.
Well, thanks to you, because you never stop.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
That's our secret. Right. Now let's talk about relationships. So how are you managing your business right now? And then, as a wife and as the family.
Yeah. So like I realized the best tool I would say for me to keep my sanity was to be able to hire. Sometimes it's going to be part-time contractors, sometimes it's going to be employees. But when I started really to blossom was when I really hired my first personal assistant. So, and then, the more we grow, the more we hire people, not just part-time, but really full-time, so that I'm not to really work like 50 hours per week, right? And the second thing also is really for me to focus on the most important activities as a CEO, which is for me maybe like giving the vision, thinking about like the strategy and the leadership, coaching the team, or sometimes it's gonna be like giving sometimes the communication and the marketing tools that the team needs, for us to be able to move forward. I would say also that I have to have, great communication routines with my husband, right? Because the fact that we're partners and we work together, we really have to have like, this balance where we are partners, when we work within the team and when we just husband and wives and parents, right? So we have sometimes, like boundaries when, like during the evening, we try not to talk about the business, or we try to have some type of dates, right? When we try, because I say you have to be really intentional. When you have a company, it's your business, it's your baby. It's just about talking about him and me, right? As a wife, as a husband, as a woman, as a man. And I would say also to be very intentional about like be present with the kids. They're so little. So when they come over, like, they come over around like 5. So we have a rule to be really present from 5 to 8 so that we're capable of playing with them, giving them the food and play some, activities, read them, like some stories, so that we're really present, with them. And even if we have to work later after that, this is what we're going to do in our family.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear, because a lot of I know that a lot of women leaders and entrepreneurs, they're having a hard time doing that. And hearing that from you, hiring people will help. It's gonna give you so much time, and also prioritizing and really be present when you're with your family. And thank you for that, Ines. Now let's go to the fun part. I'm gonna ask you some random questions. First question is, what book that made an impact for you?
A book, it's a good question. I would say the 21st Law of Leadership.
Mm-hmm.
I know it sounds silly, it's about John Maxwell. So I really enjoyed this book because I realized that everybody can be a leader. It doesn't have to go with a position. It's really about tapping into our full potential, right? So this is the greatest book really that I've read, because I realized, hey, I think, I have some type of skills, I can do something that have an impact. So I really enjoyed this book. And to this day, I think I've read this book like 10 times. I really like this book.
Okay, I'm gonna read that book as well. Now, second question is, if you are to have dinner with someone famous or in the past, who would that be and why?
Oh, it would be Beyonce.
Really?
Like Beyonce. Oh yeah. Like I really like her brand. I really like the way that she handles, like her marketing. The fact that she's really excellent as a singer, as a business mogul, right? The fact that she really prioritizes her family. Yeah, it would definitely be her.
No, I've read an article about her, is that after her performance, what she does not celebrate, but she goes into the backstage, meet with her team, and assess what went wrong, or like assess what how is the performance. And I think it talks a lot about being a leader, because being a leader is you're just as good as your last performance, right? Or as your team as well. And I think it represents you, with how you work and with how you work with your team as well. And okay, last question, what is your favorite food?
Actually, that's a hard question. I would say, I have the answer. I would say, so it's a Cameroon dish, right? It's gonna be braised fish with cassava. I don't know if you know cassava. In French, it's like yuca.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be that. So
Yes.
breast fish with yuca.
Okay. Send me a picture, send me a link of that. I'm gonna try.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Okay. Now, what's your life's motto, Ines?
So this is gonna be something I'm gonna create. Everybody has an impact. You just have to make the decision to ignite it.
Mhm.
You have an impact. You just have to make a decision to ignite it.
Perfect. Perfect. Right. So thank you very much for your time. And I'm gonna talk to you
Yeah.
again next time. All right.
Yes, we will. So have a great day and thank you for this interview.
Thank you, Ines.
Bye.
The Daily Network presents 1011. 10 minutes of meaningful conversation with immigrant leaders and entrepreneurs every Friday at 11 a.m.